with a throw and catch. Let's go to one leg. Little throw and catch, standing on one leg. Other leg. Now with the clap, both legs down, we'll throw and clap. Double clap. Whoa. Hold your ball for a minute. We're gonna jog with the faster music. Good. Now the double clap, a toss, clap, clap, catch. Try your double clap. A change. Try it. We're going to try to smack the legs. So after the toss, and then catch. So some fast movement. Good. Now, I realize if you have a tennis ball, you're probably at a disadvantage on that. Let's try a toss. Try to hit your legs, then clap, then catch. So 2 things. Woo. Okay, now we're gonna try a little juggling where we hit back and forth. Easier if you have a lighter ball. Good. Now we want to practice picking the ball up from the floor. We're going to put it down. We're going to do a lunge to the back. Take the ball to the floor, put it down, come back up. Let's do a little breaststroke. And then we're going to go down, pick the ball up, step forward, step back with your other leg, bend both knees, ball to the floor by your foot. We'll come up, we'll do a backward arm circle, and we're going to bend down, pick the ball up, and step forward. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. That was our ode to Cinco de Mayo, since no one can go out and do anything to celebrate. So we're gonna set the balls aside, and we're gonna do some balance work and coordination before we go to the stomps and everything today. We will, next time we use the balls, we'll be on the chairs. Mine out there. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll take a breath in, circle the shoulders back and down, breathe out, contract your seat muscles, and we'll do a side bend. We want to go over and give that softening and a reach toward the knee and to the center and the other side. And soften and reach toward that side knee into the center. And then for more lung stretch and expansion, let's do the side bend and that firm reach toward the ceiling. And we'll come to the center and to the other side. And that firm reach toward the ceiling to the center. And then take a breath in and a breath out. And we'll add some music here. Okay. Let's start with circling the shoulders back, arms to the sides, palms up, turn the shoulders so the palms face back, squeeze your seat, pull in your belly, palms up, and around to the back. From here, we'll just pull back and forward, back and forward. Now a tricky move. One hand down, reaching up. The other hand up. And trying to touch your fingers together. And then we'll go to the other side. One hand down, behind, the other hand up. And a reach. Trying to touch. It's a really good rotation and stretch. We're going to do a goalpost and then down. Now with the knee kick, up, horizontal, up, trying to kick the seat, kick, forward, and kick, forward. Let's breathe this, breathe the hands out, a breath in, and down. Now same legs, same arms. You're going to try half a jumping jack and down. Half, other side, up and down, and up and down. First side, reaching forward, front and down, front and down. Now we'll go to the other leg. Front and down, front and down. Now we're going to try an elbow to knee. To the other side. Now, opposite side, elbow to knee. Other side. So that slow control on one leg. Good. Now we're going to go opposite arm and leg back and up and back and up and a lift and lift. And now still opposite arm and leg. We'll bend and reach to the side. Trying to get on the toe. Bend, reach, bend. I'm mostly going sideways with my arm and my leg. Good. Now I'm going to reach back. So it's going to be opposite heel. Kick and try to touch your opposite heel. Nice. Okay. So a bit aerobic and a lot of balance. Let's go ahead and take a breath in and a breath out. And then one thing, we do want to have the chair now, because with our stomping, one thing we're going to do today is go around the chair some, both forward and backward for some coordination. So let's go ahead and okay, we'll get on some faster music. a march, so it's about like this. So we're trying to come firm on the feet, mostly on the heel. Let's try a little backwards and forward, back to your chair, and back, and front. Go on your tiptoes. We're going to tiptoe around the chair. And the other direction. Now I want to tiptoe backwards around the chair so you can hold on to the chair a little if you need to. Just going backwards on my tiptoes. Turn, go backwards around the other way. Good. Let's go heels and firm. Toes are lifted, so I'm just hitting my heels. And let's stomp and hop. Now we're going to come down on the heels, hard, up, hard. Contract your urinary muscles, down, so up, whole weight down on your heels. Stop, and you have a choice to add a jump. If you're jumping, come down, flat foot, mostly on your heels, or you could just stomp. And let's go to a stomp. Lift the heart, breathing deeply. Let's open and close the fingers, going to a backward arm circle. Okay. All right, I think we're warmed up and have had quite a few impacts. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. We've even had a few lunges. So now one more thing. So we're gonna get next to the chairs and we're gonna do one more practice with picking up the balls. So I have to turn around so that I can get my chair in a good spot. So what we're going to do is, just a sec here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to kind of be toward the back leg of the chair. Let's just bend both knees, bend over and put the ball on the ground, kind of out. You can see it's in front of the front leg of my chair. And then we're going to try to bend over and pick it up, mostly balancing on one leg. That's why I wanted to be next to the chair. So you could put your hand on the seat of the chair if you need to, or the back. We want to try to bend over, see if we can get that ball and stand up, reach overhead. Okay, and then let's bend over and put that ball out in front of the front leg again. And we'll try that same movement. So trying to be on one leg, bend over, hand to the chair if you need it. If you can reach that ball, pick it up and go overhead. And then we'll go to the other side. All right, so I'm gonna bend over, put that on the floor. I'm standing kind of behind the back leg of my chair. And now I'm gonna go for the other hand. I'm gonna try to stand on one leg and see if I can bend over my other hand, reach down and get that ball with just minimal help from the chair and come up. And now I'm going to try to take it back down with that same hand, kind of one leg, reach it down, leave it there, and come up. Okay, and then one more time. Let's go get that ball, pick it up. So we have got one hand ready. One hand could use the chair if you need it. Get that ball and take it overhead. Okay, and then let's come around to the front edge of the chair. We're gonna put the ball between the knees. And we have some things that we're gonna say as we sit. One thing is a proper copper coffee pot. A proper copper coffee pot. Okay, you ready for this one? So we'll try to say that 5 times as we slowly sit. Ball between the knees. And working on the face, the tongue, the brain, everything coordinated. Come where you feel the chair behind your knees. Stick your seat out. Widen the shoulders, kind of bring the elbows in, and you can rest your hands on your thighs. You can check your chair, make sure it's there. Okay, pull the belly in, and we'll try to say that 5 times as we slowly lower. So a proper copper coffee pot, a proper copper coffee pot, a proper copper coffee pot, a proper copper coffee pot. Okay. And then let's go ahead, chairs there, use your hands if you need. We'd like to power up. Take a breath in and a breath out. Arms to the back, stick the seat out, and let's try the coffee pot one again. So a proper copper coffee pot. A proper copper coffee pot, 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 and down. And let's try powering up. And then we're going to change our saying. This is Betty bought a bit of butter. Betty bought a bit of butter. To change the muscles in the mouth. Betty bought a bit of butter. Okay, so we'll just put that in between the legs and seat out, touch your chair, make sure you're good and close. We'll try arms overhead, and you feel your core muscles of in the stomach and back engage. And we'll try to do Betty bought a bit of butter 5 times as we slowly sit. So Betty bought a bit of butter, 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 and down. Okay, and when you feel ready to power up, let's take a breath in and out. And we'll bring our hands forward again. Make sure your chair is where you think it is. Any doubt, take a look or take a feel. And let's do Betty bought a bit of butter again, sticking the seat out. Betty bought a bit of butter, 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 and down. We'll circle back. Okay, and we're gonna set the ball aside just for a little while. Okay, let's widen the legs, and we're kind of reach back and take that. All right. And we'll lean forward, flat back, and then pull the belly in, tuck your chin, curl up, and then unroll. And leaning forward, flat back, pull the belly in, tuck your chin, curl, and unroll. And we'll take a breath in and a breath out. And we're going to go ahead and take the shoes off if you have shoes on. And make sure they're well under your chair or out of the way somewhere so you don't have to worry about stepping on them. Okay, and I'm going to shift my speaker. Let's go to the arms and then getting some force into the wrists at first. So we'll go ahead and we'll straighten the back, lift the heart, widen the elbows. Let's bring the shoulders up and then bring the shoulders down. And notice that feeling of length in the neck. Notice you feel some firmness in the abdomen. There's contraction there. And keep the palms of your hands glued together for now. As we go side to side, we're going to kind of start and finish with loosening of the wrist. Okay, we're going to interlace the fingers. And now elbows come forward, and now we separate the palms and push out toward the screen. And then let's see if we can hitch the shoulders forward. So it's a little hitching forward and then an overhead. And we'll do a side bend on one side and in. So here you really have to use your stomach to control the arms and the head. We'll bring this down on the head and we'll separate and kind of open and close. Now let's bring the heels of the hands together, or the back of the hands together. Raise the shoulders, lower the shoulders, chin parallel to the ground, back very straight, sitting firmly in your chair, and we'll do some side to side, trying to keep the backs of the hands touching. Stretching different muscles. Okay, then we'll go ahead and bring the palms together and let's interlace, but the other way. So the other, shifting your fingers. Okay, and then we'll bring the elbows forward and we'll push, stretching in that way. And then we'll turn to give a little blast to those muscles that twist the trunk. Different stomach muscles. And a twist, and then we'll bring that in. Let's open and close as we bring those hands down, and then do your palms forward and even maybe outward. Palms forward, in, back, and maybe out. So in this position, sometimes you do almost a full circle. And let's twist again. Maybe the palms will end up outward. And then twist forward, back, and out. We like to finish with the palms forward and do a backward shoulder circle. Okay, and then we're gonna get our ball. Oh no, sorry. First we're gonna slide forward in the chair. And we're gonna go to this pressure on the arms. So what we'd like to do is reach down, grab the front corners of your chair and give a firm push. And we'd like to feel 5 or 10 pounds of pressure into the heels of the hands and up through the forearms. And then if you have healthy shoulders and healthy wrists, often you could add more pressure, and that can be done by just sliding your seat forward. So now you have quite a bit of your body weight on your wrists, which is very good for bone density. And we could do a triceps strengthener. If you're able to support your full weight, you can just lower and push up. And lowering down and pushing up. And maybe one more time, lowering down and pushing up. And then we'll slide back onto the chair. And let's open and close. And then let's circle in the wrists one way and then the other way. And then let's open and close as we do a backward arm circle. So we're keeping the fingers healthy and moving and keeping the shoulders moving. And then let's go ahead. We're gonna straighten the back and then pull the belly in, so that tight clench as we straighten one knee a few times to get that good knee movement and stimulation. And we'll go the other side. That stretch, 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 and stretch. And then let's go ahead. We'll bring the arms out, and in this position, we're going to do a side bend and use your stomach to pull you back to the center, and then over and a pull and a lift. Reach around, grab your knee, pull it towards your chest, and you could grab behind your knee or in front of your knee, wherever you can get a hold. Then what we just like to do is inch that ankle over that knee and maybe slide it down till the knees are crossed. Then this high knee kind of pulls you forward. So then lifting the chest and straightening the back, reach back to help support yourself, and let's circle the ankle while we're getting a little bit of a hip stretch with the crossed knees, and we'll go the other way. Okay, and then we'll take that one off. We'll bring the hands out, and we're going to lift the other knee. Reach wherever your hands reach. Give a real strong pull with the arms, and usually this helps support the back too when the leg is pulled up firm like that. And then what we'd like to do is just inch that ankle over the knee and go ahead and slide so the knees are crossed and reach back. And then we're just going to circle in that ankle while we're getting a bit of a stretch on the side of the hip, and circle both ways. This is your biggest circle to work on keeping the ankle healthy and moving. And then with control, we'll bring that over and back down. Okay, and then go ahead and find your ball. And we're going to practice some movements with the ball. We're just going to start into the heart and out. And one of the key points of this movement is to fully straighten the elbows when you come out, to keep good elbow range of motion. It's like the kick we did for the knee, where we're trying to keep full ability of the knee to straighten. This is to keep full ability of the elbows to straighten. Okay. Now we're just going to bring this in, move it down to the belly. Use your fingers, press it in as you pull your elbows straight back. So now you have the ball being pulled to your belly with 5 or 10 pounds of pressure. And in this position, we're going to turn to look to one side and the center, and to turn and to center, as we're working on a way of strengthening in the abdomen, and a turn to center. Keep that pressure. You can. You could interlace your fingers if your fingers are getting tired. We're going to keep that pull, keep the elbows pulling back, and we're going to come up to the tippy toes. And here with the shoulders really wide, pulling back, that pressure on the ball or your socks or whatever over your abdomen. And we'll do a little lifting and lowering. And then we'll bring the feet flat. And let's take a breath in, a breath out. And we're going to separate. We're going to come over, head lean, and look at one knee, lean over. See if you can touch your toe. Then reach out so your arms end up on each side of your head, and use your back muscles lifting up. And lean and reach over, reach toward the toe. Reach out, and back muscles lifting up. A little swinging to relax. And then what we like to do, if it's comfortable, we'll take both arms overhead, or you could use one arm overhead. So either both arms or one arm overhead, and we're going to reach behind the neck. And you could just do this. You have your choice of using both arms or just one arm. Depends on your shoulders. And we'll bring it to the front. We're going to do a turn. So I just went from reaching straight out to I just gave a half or a quarter turn. So I have this one hand on top here. And then I'm going to roll this up to my shoulder, keeping all the fingertips on the ball, because that's really good for hand and wrist flexibility. And then this hand right here near my cheek, I'm going to use that hand to press that ball toward my shoulder and relax. And to press and relax. And let's go to the other side. And to press and relax. And to press and relax. We'll come out. The point of this is biceps strengthening and also keeping hand, wrist, and finger flexibility. So it's kind of a nice move, building some strength and endurance at the same time as flexibility. Now what we'd like to do is do that rolling movement where we take it down with both hands near one foot, and then we'll roll it to the other foot, catch it, and lift. And throughout this, we're trying to use two hands, so you really have to reach. So turn and reach with two hands, roll to the other foot, catch, and lift. So if you have a tennis ball, you have to reach even farther. Roll, catch, and lift, and down, roll, catch, and lift. And then we're going to reach forward, and we're going to do a twist. So clench the belly, and we bend the elbows, twist back and touch your chair, and forward. Watch your ball with your eyes. Twist. So this becomes a neck and eye exercise as well as that abdominal twist. Forward, and a twist, and forward. And then full range of motion, we'll take it to the floor. We'll take it to our waist. We'll take it overhead. And we'll just lower to the front. And then from this position, when you get comfortable, you want to have wide shoulders still, elbows as straight as you can get them. Keep all the fingers on the ball, and we're going to give a twist and a twist. And you want that twist to translate all the way to the shoulder joint. So wrists, elbows, shoulders, all getting a twist. Stomach is contracting to hold you up straight. And then we're going to take it down between the legs. And now we're going to give that twist to the side. So I'm going to put fingertips either on the floor, or I could put that hand on my knee if I can't reach the floor. I'm going to try and reach something, or I could put it on my foot. As I take that ball out, watch it go toward the ceiling and down. Same arm, let's do it once again. Up toward the ceiling, really contracting the back muscles and the shoulder muscles. We'll switch hands and up, reaching up and down, and again up toward the ceiling and down. And then from here, we're going to go in a big circle. So we'll take the ball out to the side, up overhead, out to the other side, and down to the floor, and then the other way, out to the side, up overhead, out to the side, and down, and then go ahead and reach forward and lift up. Now let's bring it down to the chest. And now we're kind of close to the front edge of the chair. Feet are planted, feet are right under your knees, and we're going to do an abdominal exercise where we lean forward to the side, and then clench the belly, lean back, touch your chair, other side and forward, and we'll go around this way. Clench the belly, side and forward, and we're coming up. Okay, what I like to do is do that with some music, some of those ball movements. You want to scoot back so you're only halfway forward in the chair, and we'll do that. It's a good preparation for working with the weights, kind of getting the upper body ready for that. Okay, so we'll okay. So we're gonna start with the reaching to the side. So the side, down, side, down, side, down, side, down, and up, over, and up. Now for the elbows, that's straight and bend. Leave them straight. Backward arm circle on one side and other side. Now press to the belly and twist forward, twist in front, twist. So 5 pounds of pressure on your belly, twist in front. We're going to touch the foot, lean, touch, lift with the back, over, lift with the back, and we're gonna, little relaxation, we're going overhead. You can use one arm or both arms. We're gonna touch, reach, touch, reach, touch, reach, touch, reach to the front. We're gonna back, turn, curl, push, back, out, turn, curl, push, out, turn, push, back, out. Last one, turn, curl, push, down to the foot, or roll and catch. We're gonna roll, catch, lift, back, down, roll, catch, lift, back, down, roll, catch, lift, back, down, roll, catch, lift to the front, lift, forward, lift, forward, We're touching the chair to the floor, the waist, up. Yeah, now the steering wheel, that turn, straight elbows, turn, turn, down, half circle, and then we come down. Okay, get the music. All right, let's do a breath in and a breath out. Circle back. Okay, so now we're planning to go to the weights. So with those, we're going to do quite a few lunges. So if you want to stay and do lunging, you don't need the weights. You can do the movements without the weights also. So the weights are a way to give some additional strengthening to the legs. They're very good for bone density, to get that extra pressure in the hips as well as into the wrists. So we're gonna grab our weights, or not, whatever you want to do. For those of you using the weights, you could keep a chair nearby if you think you need it for the lunges. So the weights, we are going to hold them, thumb wrapped around, and you want to be sure as we use the weights, don't let your wrists hang. Try to keep a straight wrist, whether the palms are forward or down, always the straight, firm wrist, no bending of the wrist. And we're going to start with a good warm up where we lift the opposite knee, opposite arm. I'm going to step forward, but you just stay where you are if you want. I have to tilt the screen. Okay. Yeah, so we're doing that good warm up. And now we're going to do it, the arms like this, and not lifting a knee. So this one, this goalpost type of strengthening for the rotator muscles of the shoulder with that knee lift. Okay, go ahead, relax your weights. Do a backward shoulder circle, breath in, breath out. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do a movement. I want you to watch me first. I'm just gonna separate my feet a little, but keep my toes forward. My hands are gonna stay close to my legs. Maybe I'll turn sideways. As I really stick my feet out behind, bend my knees, trying to keep my back flat. And the weights may or may not go all the way to my feet. And then I'm going to strongly contract my seat to straighten up. And then I'm going to press onto my toes as I do a backward shoulder circle. So if you want to join me, we'll bend down, seat, going really out far toward the wall behind you. Coming down, coming up on the toes, backward shoulder circle. And we'll come down. So when your seat goes way back, one thing is very easier, a lot easier to keep a straight back. Also, this is very easy on the knees. That slowly down. We can power up a bit onto the toes, backward shoulder circle. Well, let's go ahead, take a breath in, circling, and a breath out. Let's shake out the legs a little. And then now we're going to go to a forward lunge. So making sure you have your space to lunge forward to a flat foot. And then we're going to bend both knees and lower, get into what's a comfortable lunge for you. And we're going to keep the palms facing in the whole time for this one. We're going to curl up to the biceps and go overhead, and then go slower coming down to the shoulders and down. So as you do this, think of your elbows staying in, not going out, and then the slow release is a powerful strengthener. One more, and we're going to change legs and overhead and down. Elbows come forward and not out, and down. Okay, now I'm going to take my leg back. Let's do a breath in, a breath out. And let's come forward with the other leg. So coming up, flat foot, and then bending both knees. And you want to just hold it for a while. If you don't have weights, you can do the arm movements. It's a nice balance challenge. And we'll come up and overhead and back to the shoulders, slowly down. So getting the biceps with this elbow bend, getting the shoulder muscles with the push upward, also the triceps. So there we go. So the pull, elbows stay in, the push, slowly down, going for that slow release, and then we'll go ahead and come back. And let's go ahead. We're going to give a few seat kicks. And then we're going to rotate. So what I'm doing is I'm rotating my palms out, forward, back, and maybe out. Because I want to rotate in my shoulders after that heavy shoulder work. And let's bring them to the front. Okay, let's change to a plie before we do more lunges. So we're going to go toes out, separate, 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 bend, kind of settle into your plie, and we're going to use this for the upper back strengthening in this position right now. So what we want to do then is, again, flat back, kind of stick the seat out behind and let your chest come forward. We'll drop the weights, and we're going to just pull the elbows back and a slow release, and pulling the elbows back. Really feel that contraction between the shoulder blades and the release, a pull and a release. That pull, that pause, that firm contraction, and a slow release. And then go ahead, straighten up. You can bring the weights more to the sides, and let's straighten one knee at a time. Getting, that healthy, trying to maintain those healthy knees by getting that full straightening. Okay, and then if we, with our weights, let's bring our weights here, and either jump or stomp your feet back together. Okay, and then a breath in and a breath out. Okay, and then we're gonna do a side lunge for another upper back exercise. So this one, we're gonna step up and over and out, and shift your weight fully onto that one hip. We'll stick the seat out a little, let that chest come forward, and we're gonna go one at a time. We're gonna bend the elbows a little and lift out and lift out. So the idea is you feel this also in your core, the back of the shoulder, and lifting out, slow release, power up, slow release, a power up, and slow release, feeling good force in that hip, a power up, slow release. And we'll step back to center. A breath in, a breath out. And let's step out to the other side. I think what we'll do now is we'll do our back lunge. So with the back lunge, we're going to do a triceps exercise. So make sure you have room behind you. And we're going to be stepping straight back to the ball of the foot, and we'll bend to both knees. Now what we'd like to do is bend one elbow so it's behind you, and then straighten the arm back. And bend, straighten, a pause, a slow release, a straighten, pause. I'm just doing one arm at a time, a slow release, and a straighten, a pause, a slow release. Let's go ahead and step forward, and we'll step back with the other leg and do the other arm. So that back to the ball of the foot, bending the knees. Okay, and I'm going to bring that elbow back and straighten, reaching back. Slowly release as I bend, and that, reaching back. I'll say my palm is facing toward my midline. Reaching back, and in, and back, pause, and a slow release. And then I'm going to step forward. Okay. A breath in, a breath out. And let's finish with something familiar from last week. So this one, we did a backward lunge. And this time we were just going to the shoulders like this, with the palms facing in. But we were adding that back knee lift. So it was like a lift and then back to the lunge. And a lift, back to the lunge, up to the shoulders, back to the lunge, and a lift, and back to the lunge. We'll step forward, and we're gonna lunge back with the other foot. So that back, same movement with the arms. And then after the second one, when we get to the third one here, let's add the knee coming forward, that lift, and back, and a lift, and back. I'm seeing some good knee lifts. Lift, and back, and a lift, and back. Okay, step forward. We're going to go ahead and put the weights down, and go ahead and find your chair. We'll sit down. Okay. We'll come halfway forward in the chair. We're going to start with a wrist stretch. So bring your elbow into the side of your body and your hand out. And we're going to bring the fingers on top here. The other fingers, thumb behind, so clasping those fingers. And then I'm just going to, as I straighten my elbow, I'm going to pull those fingers down. And I get in this, my elbow extremely straight, my wrist really extended. Take a breath in, a breath out. Another breath in, and a breath out. Letting that wrist extend, letting that elbow straighten. Okay, let's go to the other side then. My thumb behind, fingertips on top, elbow in. Then I'm straightening my elbow, pulling the fingertips back. I'm going to take a breath in, a breath out, letting that wrist extend, letting that elbow straighten. A breath in, a breath out. Getting a little more of that stretch. Okay, and then again, I'm going to bring the heels of my hands together, raise the shoulders, lower the shoulders, belly in, and a little side to side. Keep that flexion, motion of the wrists. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands here and I'm going to twist with an arm swing, looking back and forward, and looking back and forward, looking back and forward, and looking back and forward. I'm going to lift a knee, grab, lean back, curl, pull the knee up toward my forehead. A breath in, a breath out, and a little more pull. Go ahead, look forward, keep your knee up, we'll switch. This is on this leg, this is the last one of these. Reach, pull, and then let your head fall forward, getting a good stretch in your neck and your back and your hip. Another breath in, a breath out. And then going ahead and looking forward, and we'll bring the feet down. We'll do one stretch like this, reach up, thinking we're releasing those ribs, getting the lungs ready for the 5 deep breaths, making them able to expand as widely as possible. And here we go, 5 deep, vigorous breaths in through the nose.